Aaron Vissia Financial Go Island is brought to you by Aaron Vissia Financial.
Hey there, you're watching Go Island, coming to you today from the beautiful Sproat Lake. Well, hello there. You are watching Go Island. We are here on the beautiful Sproat Lake because we're talking about the upcoming paddle weekend. I bet you haven't even heard of it. Well, Daryl Holt is going to tell you all about it. Daryl, what is the paddle weekend?
Paddle weekend will be August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. August 1st is a paddle demonstration, which anybody is welcome to come out and try the boats out. There will be outrigger canoes, dragon boats, stand-up paddle boards, small boats, 10 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. People are just more than welcome to come out and try it out. All you have to do is sign a waiver and away you go. Saturday is a 42-kilometer change race from the park to the end of Taylor Arm and back. And then Sunday would be a small boat race with all sorts of different small boats.
But non-motorized small boats?
No motorized boats, no. We're paddlers, not motorized.
So this is so cool. We're on Sproat Lake. Where is kind of the headquarters for all these events?
All these events right now, like the hotel here, Sprout Lake Landing, is the headquarters for dragon boats and outrigger canoes. We moor our boats here. The other races headquarters will be out at the provincial park.
This is such a neat thing, just to follow up to the regatta, which of course was all motorized just a week before, 2 weeks before. And this must be so exciting for you and your clubs.
Well, it is, because it's a chance for us to show people. There's been so much racing going on. It's a chance to show people how much fun this is. Like, most paddlers are recreational. You get good exercise, paddle on a lovely lake, great people, and you don't have to worry about racing if you don't want to. If you want to race, you can race every weekend during the year, but if you want just a good, enjoyable paddle, come on out and try it.
Wow, it sounds wonderful. I tell you, I can't imagine anything better than just spending time on the water all summer. We're going to tell you more about it in just a few minutes, but first, I took in some fights at ADSS, and Jenny Fortin took in the Sproat Lake Regatta.
The engines, the water, the speed.
You know, once you're a racer, you're always a racer. I started, water ski racing when I was younger. I was always a fast boat enthusiast living on the lake here. And, the last couple of years, I just got my boat 2 years ago, but it's been a lot of fun.
Nothing like the thrill of stepping on the loud pedal and shaking all the way down the track. Your heart just races and your blood goes up, and you're so happy and elated when you get to the other end and that you've survived and everything's still running. There's not a feeling like it.
It's just what I do. I mean, going fast in boats is just kind of all I've ever done, and it's just sort of evolved over time, and now we're playing with Formula One and really having a lot of fun with it.
But there's a lot of work that goes into the boats before they reach the start line.
And there's a lot of science involved in it, a lot of physics and stuff like that, which is really cool.
The monkey wrenching is as much fun as the actual racing, so it's kind of a thing that kind of grows on you, and once you got the bug, I think that's it. You got to do it.
And once you're at the start line, the rest of the world ceases to exist.
It's kind of hard to describe what it's like to be, going over 100 miles an hour down the track and suddenly just throw it into a corner and be pulling that kind of G-load. It's hard to describe, but it's a lot of fun.
Just try to stay calm and focused and just think of what your motor's doing and just make sure you don't want to get too amped up or anything, but it gets pretty exciting.
Everything goes into slow motion. When you get up around 190, 200 miles an hour, everything slows right down, and you can pick a stick out in the water, you can pick a wave out, and your total attention goes to that one spot until you get to it, and it's just amazing. Then it goes right into full speed. It's just like your brain's catching up. It's just amazing. something that everybody should try.
Racers from all over brought their teams, boats, and equipment to participate in the Sprout Lake Regatta.
This is by far our favorite race anywhere in North America. This is just so much fun and so well put together. It's awesome.
The racers are having a fantastic time. And like I said, I can't say enough about the people that have shown up. It has grown in a positive way. We've got a lot of boating enthusiasts here. And, you know, just like I said before, just a real good thing for the lake and a good thing for the valley.
In the end, the racers raced, the crowd cheered, and the Sprout Lake Regatta was a roaring success. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Jenny Fortin.
It's a common sight in living rooms across the country. Youngsters wrestling with each other, imitating the smackdowns they see on TV. And for many, generating an interest in a sport that has been practiced for centuries.
I've heard this story many times. They see WWE on TV and they think it's wrestling, and so they come out and give it a try, and they're kind of just, oh, what is this stuff? It's nothing like WWE.
No, it's nothing like the professional wrestling they've watched on TV. This is amateur freestyle wrestling, and these elementary school students are being introduced to it at the Alberni Valley Wrestling Club's free summer camp.
I've tried other sports, but it seems whenever I do it, I end up getting someone hurt or I make an accident, so I thought maybe I could just try something when you're something a bit more physical.
There's a dual purpose to this annual camp. It gives the older wrestlers a chance to do some coaching and allows newcomers like Rowan to experience wrestling, something even more important this year, as the Alberni Valley Wrestling Club looks to expand into elementary schools.
Our plan is to have a wrestling team at each of the 6 local elementaries here in Port Alberni, and we'll have, hopefully starting middle of September, an elementary league which will go until November.
We know that not everyone's going to necessarily grow up to be a high school wrestler, but at the very least we'd love everyone to have that exposure so that they sort of have a knowledge and an acceptance of our sport.
And judging from the enthusiasm of this group, there is a whole new generation of Alberni Valley wrestlers getting ready to carry the torch.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a really fun sport that you get to throw people, and sadly my cousins get to throw me.
Well, sadly or not, Alberni Valley parents should be aware. With the number of national and international champions this club has turned out, you might just have a future Olympian wrestling in your living room. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Nancy Wilmot. Wow, those are 2 great clubs. You've got the Alberni Valley Wrestling Club and the Alberni Valley Regatta Association, both doing great things for the community. And, you know, it's no coincidence that we had the regatta story, because the Alberni Valley Regatta Association is actually sponsoring the upcoming paddle weekend. And Greg Steele is going to tell us about that. Greg, why are you guys paddling a non-motorized event?
Well, our mission statement of the regatta is we promote water safety, boating in all forms.
And of course, non-motorized boating is still boating a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. So they tell me. I haven't tried it yet.
Now, your event was such a huge success. The regatta, I know, drew rave reviews from everybody. You got to the end of it and you still had to be part of this.
Oh yes, it's an ongoing. This is things we plan for is all year long.
All year long. And it's all volunteer, isn't it?
Yes, there's a lot of volunteers. We couldn't put on events like this if it wasn't for the volunteers.
Are you looking for more volunteers?
Very much so. You can contact me through my email address, avra.gsteele@gmail.com.
Cool. And do you know offhand, is there a website for the paddle weekend? Do people find out more information about that?
That I'm not too sure. We might have to ask Daryl about that one.
Oh, I know Daryl's got a cheat sheet. He'll find it.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg, thank you so much for telling me about it. Thanks for sponsoring this weekend. It's going to be a good one. I know that.
No problem. Thank you.
Now, we're going to tell you a little bit more about what's coming up. We're going to talk to somebody who's going to be taking part in the paddle weekend. But first, Jenny Fortin stopped by the Roland Art Centre to take in their current exhibit, and Melissa Martin is going to talk about all things art as she walks down the avenue.
Hi, I'm Riley Lee from Parks and Recreation, here to tell you about our next Our-Town, happening Tuesday, August 4th, here at Rec Park. We'll have a slip and slide, snow cones, and lots of other fun activities. I hope to see you out there for free family fun.
I was one of those kids that's always doodling. Doodling on the inside of their books, doodling on the outside of their books, doodling on their textbooks, doodling on other people's textbooks.
You could say Ryan is a bit of a doodler. He doodled as a kid, and now he doodles as an adult. In fact, he comes from a long line of doodlers.
My grandmother was an artist, and then my father as well, and neither of them really pursued it to the point where they were making a living at it, but both of them had that, I guess they would say that draw to be artists.
And over the years, Ryan has turned his art of doodling into something more, something that has meaning to it, something that he is proud of.
I think it's been in the family for a long time, and I feel like there's maybe a little bit of an obligation to make the most of it, because it's something that not everybody has sort of that predisposition to be able to create art, and so it's interesting for me because I feel like it's a little bit of something that's passed down, and like I say, my grandmother had it, and my father, me, and now my daughter, and maybe one day her kids will have it too.
As you can tell, Ryan is a passionate guy. He loves his family. He definitely loves his art. And he also has a love for wildlife.
I grew up here on the island, and I spent most of my childhood in the forest. And then, as it turns out, in my work, I spend a lot of time also out in the forest.
Ryan as a person is extremely passionate about art in general, and I think you can really see that again in his pieces here. I think he's got a passion on an educational aspect of it as well. He's really trying to highlight the conservation behind the animals in these pictures that he's painted.
Really, any species that we run across, it's valuable knowing a little bit about them and understanding what makes them special, and it gives you a better appreciation of them and a better understanding when you're out in the wilderness, when you see these things, what is it that they bring to the ecosystem? Or even just to give you a sense of the overwhelming diversity that occurs here on the coast.
Ryan's acrylic airbrush exhibit, Wild West Coast, brings his early days of doodling to a professional level, making it an exhibit you don't want to miss.
He is certainly a man with a passion, and I hope people do come to see this show because it's very, it really emphasizes again his passion, but also the wildlife that's sort of indicative to our area, and he also makes it a very educational exhibit, so it's something for everybody.
For Go, on Shaw TV, I'm Jenny Fortin.
You know, there's always something going on at the Roland Art Centre, and one of my favorites is Tea on the Terrace every Thursday all summer long, where there's live entertainment and a lovely luncheon being served. It's a great way to relax with friends. Now, I'm going to relax out here on the lake for just a few minutes while we take a break, so please stay with us. Well, welcome back. You are still watching Go Island. We are still here on Sprout Lake talking about the upcoming paddle weekend, and we thought it would be kind of cool to talk to somebody who is all about paddling, stand-up paddleboarding. In fact, he's even moved to the Alberni Valley to open a business. Jason, you're pretty fired up about the future of paddling on Sprout Lake.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the largest growing board sports in the world, and to see more paddlers out here every weekend is awesome. So Not on just on Sprout Lake, but we have Great Central Lake and we have the Alberni Inlet as well. So absolutely.
So a weekend like this paddle weekend, is this a good thing for the sport?
Huge, just to get people aware of the sport. Another event that, hey, the board's down there on the water, I can go jump on it and try it. It's great. So.
And you're going to be here on the weekend?
I am. I will be here on the Saturday.
On
for
the
the
Saturday?
event. Yeah.
Are you going to be paddling or are you going to be ashore kind of with boards?
Both. I'll be on the shore with demo boards and rentals if people want to take them out longer, but also I'll be on the water helping people or taking pictures myself. So.
Okay, now I've tried stand-up paddleboarding and it really surprised me because these boards are not as, like I thought it would be like standing on a surfboard, but it was different.
Oh no, it's absolutely really very stable. More stable than a canoe sometimes, if you ask me. Depends on the size of the board, of course, and the size of the person, but yeah, anybody can stand on it. We have kids go on it 2 at a time. We've had 2 kids and a dog, so they're very stable.
And I've got to say, there's no lovelier way to enjoy the water than quietly paddling at your own pace.
Absolute solace when you're just on the water, paddling, sitting down, laying down, kneeling, standing up, taking a swim. It's great. So
it is great. Jason, thank you for telling me about it. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out on a stand-up paddleboard or maybe in a canoe or a kayak on the weekend. Great time to come out and try a sport that perhaps you haven't tried before. Now, we are almost at the end of our show, but before we say goodbye, we're going to tell you a little bit about how a friendly phone call could save or change your life.
Dr. Freddie Mayer's office, Tara speaking.
Tara Norris is a medical office assistant and she's good at her job. She often goes that extra mile for her patients. So when she was recently unable to reach a regular patient to book a follow-up appointment, she became concerned.
I'd left a bunch of messages and I hadn't heard back. And for some reason, I just had a sixth sense about it. And I don't know, after, that was on the Wednesday and then on the Friday, I thought, I'm just going to his house.
Unfortunately, Tara's sixth sense proved to be correct. The gentleman she had been trying to reach had passed away several weeks earlier, his death unnoticed by family and friends. Something that can happen easier than you might think.
Oh, we've definitely found that out over the last 21 years. There have so many cases where people have been in distress and needed some assistance. So this is why we know it is important and we know we have nipped certain things in the bud.
Wendy is referring to the Friendly Phone Service, a volunteer organization that is committed to maintaining regular, scheduled communications with seniors or anyone else who is concerned about living alone.
The Friendly Phone Service is a free service for anybody in the Valley who lives alone and would like to be feeling safer. People get isolated because they don't have close family that's checking on them all the time. And even when they are being phoned from their relatives or friends, we are phoning every day. And we're phoning first thing in the morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
So if anything's going to happen overnight, we'll pick up on it.
I think it's our job to look after our seniors, and we can use this experience to help other seniors and make sure that this never happens again.
The Friendly Phone Service is completely free of charge and available to anyone living in the Alberni Valley. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Nancy Wilmot. I'm on location here at Dry Creek Park, which, like many rivers and streams in the Alberni Valley this summer, is actually dry. And Sheena, we're here to talk about rescue operations in dry stream beds.
Thank you. Yes. So what we're doing here today is we're doing fry salvage of coho fry primarily. So we've been doing fry salvage now for about a month in the region, and we have a summer student staff that are working on doing that project with us.
So fry salvage means rescuing the little salmon that are now landlocked.
That's right. So we have a lot of areas in town that go dry annually, and we have a list of those places, and we go and check them every year. And if our biologist determines that fry salvage is the correct procedure for there, that's what we do. They don't always do that. Fry salvage isn't always the answer. But if they determine that that's the correct procedure, then we do that. But this year what we're finding is there's so many dry spots that we're overstretched. So we're asking for help. So if people have places that they go and they notice that normally a stream that's been wetted is becoming dry, or if it's on their property, if they give us a call, our summer students are happy to come out and lend them a hand. We can even give them equipment, and we're sure looking for people to help out. The AVA and West Coast Aquatic each have scientific licenses through DFO for collection of fish, and it's not really a generally accepted practice for people to just go out and move fish from one system to the next, because there's genetic implications to doing that. So if people contact us and let us know, and we can give them a hand, or we can let them know where to release fish, and we can also record what people are doing.
And it is really important that people help, because this is our resource.
It is. I mean, salmon is Port Alberni. I think we're the ultimate fishing town, aren't we?
So just in case somebody can't reach you, you are capturing them in buckets with nets, and where are you releasing them?
So what we're doing is we capture them in fry traps. We use bait, and once we've got the salmon, it's critical that you don't handle salmon too much, because they're very susceptible to handling. So carefully place them in a bucket of water that you've taken from the stream. It's a good idea to cover with leaves or other things so that the fish are sort of protected and have an area to hide under. You need to quickly get them to open water. Now, in the past, what we've done is we've just moved them to the nearest body of moving water. But this year, unless you've got specific direction, it's best to put them in a lake or directly into the river.
And what's your phone number if people are watching this and they do want to borrow some of your traps or just to contact you?
It's 250-724-3600, extension 202. And I'll also give my cell phone, because as many people may know, we're in a transition between one building to the next. So the other number is 250-731-7093.
Excellent. Sheena, thank you so much. I know there are plenty of folks out there who are finding pools like this, and now they know how to help. Mason Shadlock makes it look easy, as if performing stunts on the water at high speed were no more difficult than walking. But then Mason and his brother Declan are both rated among the best wakeboarders in Canada in their age division, taking 2nd and 6th place respectively in national competition. And pursuing their sport has become a lifestyle for their entire family.
It's funny because my boys play rep hockey, lacrosse, snowboard, so they're busy, but when the sun comes out, they spend all their time on the water.
Now, even though this family is from Shawnigan Lake, they spend their summers at Sprout Lake as members of one of BC's premier wakeboarding clubs, the Sprout Lake Water Sport Association.
Mom, it's time to wakeboard.
All right, let's go. The boys actually sleep in a tent, and I sleep in the motorhome, because we spend our entire summer on the dock. From the day school gets out till the day school starts.
We wake up in the morning, we go for a wakeboard, then we can go over all the rails. And then, all the kids out here are all around the same age, so we always hang out together.
This endless summer is part of what makes the Water Sport Association so successful. They own a permanent location on Sprout Lake, complete with campground, docks, and a club boat, all available to members.
We have like about 40. And the rule is like 21, you can have 21 sites at one given time. So we kind of just make a schedule and rotate around and try and let everybody have some waterfront.
And you can't spend much time with this group before you realize that club members act a lot like one big family, helping out wherever they're needed.
Yesterday I went out and tried to teach the kids some stuff, like we both went doubles and stuff, and it's just like so fun just watching them like try to do it and learn and fall, and then you go and talk to them and they go out and do it. It just like, their face and stuff is just priceless.
That's the nice thing about wakeboarding. You want your competitor to go out and have their best ride, and you have your best ride, and the podium really at the end of the day is a small part of.
Well, winning may not be everything, but when the medals are being handed out at this year's Nationals, it's a pretty safe bet that the Sprout Lake Water Sport Association will be well represented. In Port Alberni, I'm Nancy Wilmot. Well, that does bring us to the end of another Go Island. It's been so great to be out here at the lake again. I think I'm going to take off my shoes and put my feet once again in the water. I love this job. Until we meet again, be good to each other.
Aaron Vissia Financial Go Island is brought to you by Aaron Vissia Financial, supporting community and providing personalized advice and service to clients since 1996. Our team is ready to help you with your financial future.